Welcome to Values Over Vanity. This is your girl Francia, aka Franny B, and I want to thank you for joining me. This episode is going to be called Opportunity in Chaos. And the reason why I decided to talk about this episode, is because earlier this week I got a download about seeing opportunity in every chaos, everything that is not going our way, looking for the lessons, looking for the miracle, not asking why it's happening, um, because it's happening for a reason, but look for the reason. Look for the lesson. Is it teaching you about forgiveness? Is it teaching you about love? Is it teaching you about compassion? Is it teaching you to look at something in a different point of view? And we can all the reason why I'm getting this download too is because we are still in a pandemic, and this pandemic started last year and it shut the whole world down. And I realized that maybe we manifested this shutdown. We didn't know how it was gonna be, but it for me, I look for the opportunity in this thing, because I believe that we've been going so long for so many years, and I think the world really needed a break. I think in the chaos was, for me, connecting back to my soul. In the chaos was me really taking a closer look at my beliefs about myself, taking a closer look at what I thought of myself, how I was thinking, and how my actions and my words was affecting not only myself but affecting the people that I love. And in the chaos of the pandemic, I was really able to look back over my life, do a self reflection, and see all the things that I was actually trying to avoid throughout my lifetime. Um, Moving out of fear instead of faith. And in this pandemic, I was able to really start connecting back to my faith, connecting back to God, source, universe, connecting back to my family and my friends, connecting back to having compassion and patience, learning about forgiveness, really and truly recognizing how amazing my life is, how grateful I am to be alive, and really and truly, this pandemic has allowed me to come back home to my heart, to my passion. And I must say, even me getting COVID as well in April, May was also an eye opener for me, to show me how life can be so short, how life can just flash in your face, and really and truly appreciating your life, really and truly having faith that you will get better. It really connected me back to the core of me, and not being afraid. And I believe we are all such powerful beings. And at the minute that we start connecting and believing, not even believing, but knowing who we are. One of my podcasts, I talk about knowing who you are. When you know who you are, you start walking in the purpose of your authentic self. You start walking in and being passionate about who you are, looking back and seeing your flaws and your weakness, and recognizing that those things that you thought were flaws and weakness were actually your badges to show you what you have overcome, or what you need to overcome, or what you need to strive to overcome with for certain weakness. A lot of the times I talk to people and they said they lack confidence, and Me looking at them, you will never think that they lack confidence. And that's why I am creating a confidence, activate your confidence workshop, because I believe we all have confidence. Confidence, honestly, is a state of mind. And when you have to defend yourself and you know yourself, you're confident with what you're saying because you know it what is true to you, and you're confident in your answer. But sometimes when you go into a space and you feel uncomfortable and you don't want to say what you need to say, you might feel isolated. But that's you projecting that on yourself. When you realize that you have nothing to be afraid of, when you realize that you were born fearless, when you realize that you were born powerful, and that your own mind, your own perspective is what holds you back, then you're gonna start expanding. Then you're gonna start stepping outside of the box. Then you will be open to listening to other people's perspective and seeing where they're coming from, because they're coming from their own lived experience. So if you think that they're ignorant to what you're seeing, not knowing, just know in their world they didn't come across what you have experienced. So you speaking about your lived experience will allow them, if most of the times people will listen to your lived experience and totally get where you're coming from. But we are so busy arguing with each other, dividing each other, look, having these opinions on other people's lives that we really and truly don't know. Somebody might come along and they might have a bad experience with that person, and you will take that your personal feelings onto that person based on what somebody else said. And at the end of the day, that's not your experience with that person. A lot of the times we 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 make up our minds about a situation or a person based on somebody else's experience with them. And if you're going to go to someone with a certain energy, or if somebody is going to come to you with a certain energy, the first thing you do is put your guard up, right? First thing you're going to do is be defensive. And I realized that the minute that you put up defense, that other person is feeling that, and that other person is going to pick up and be defensive as well. So it would be like dark attracting dark to defend itself. And at the end of the day, what I'm talking about is recognizing more and more about myself, because I can only speak from my point of view, is to always be open and listen to people. And if you are not feeling the situation, if you're not feeling that energy, there's nothing wrong with expressing how you feel, speaking your truth. It's not about suppressing anymore. It's not about suppressing how you're feeling. But if you're gonna speak your truth, it have to come across in a way that, you know what, that person wouldn't be defensive. That person wouldn't be defensive, because you're going to be coming to them in an understanding way, in a compassionate way, so that they can understand your point of view. And I realize with my argument with my mom, or argument with my daughter or friends or anything like that, is like, how am I speaking to them? Because they're only reacting based on how I am speaking. So for me now is looking for every opportunity in the chaos, looking for the opportunity in the arguments, looking for the opportunity in the other person's point of view, to see where we have common ground, but to also see where we can work with each other. Because at the end of the day, I believe all of us are looking for that freedom inside, that freedom to do what we all want, to be safe, for our families and friends to be safe, to have that perfect job, that dream job, to have that loving relationship, to have peace here on earth. Actually, I believe every single one of us want those things, but everybody have a different opinion on how to achieve those things. I am seeing, if we all have one common goal If we all have a common goal in common, if we have a goal in common, we should be focusing on that goal and putting everything on the table to see where we can work together. What makes sense? Going to the root of the situation instead of surface level. Trying to fit something on the surface level. And for me, when I go to the root of anything um and I actually find out where it is that where it started from, I get the right solutions that it wouldn't come back. So for me, it is really and truly. I wrote in my journal this week about this same situation, and I'm gonna say a couple of words. In the midst of chaos, there's always opportunity. Look for the opportunity. Look for the lesson. Look for the light. Look for the breakthrough. Look for the miracle. Instead of only looking for the negative, look for what you can learn and grow from it. Everything happens for a reason, and in that reason is the miracle. And in that chaos, you reach for the stars in that chaos. You go against the grain. You go with what feels right, but also what feels right to you, recognizing might not feel right to somebody else. And it's not even about compromising, but just having that compassion because that person may not have experienced what you have experienced. And by you highlighting what you have experienced, you'll be able to put that make that person see a different side of you than they have created a story. We all create stories in our head about people. And for me now, it's about being aware of the stories I am creating in my head about people, places, and things. And it all really do come back to recognize for myself how I have powerful abilities, how I am a creator of my world based on the choices that I make, just like you. And my question to you is what choices, what decisions are you making that are for the highest good of yourself? And in those choices, will those choices hurt other people? Will those choices suppress other people's choices? Are you able to put yourself in that other person's shoes and see where they're coming from, and then seeing that maybe that person is operating out of fear, maybe that person is operating out of hurt, pain, or trauma from their past. And in creating this podcast, I'm really it really aiming my aim and object is to heal people through speaking, heal people through um my perspective of what helped me heal. And it really and truly was about going back and revealing a lot of my past limiting beliefs that I had on myself, and looking at things through a different lens and readjusting my beliefs to my current situation. Because a lot of the beliefs that I had, I am still running that program in the background from my past. Is for me, it's about updating, it's about evolving, it's about changing what is no longer serving me, what is playing in my subconscious mind that is coming out in my present, what past lessons that I didn't close off, I didn't reconcile with. And in this world, we all have to stop. And I believe that's what this pandemic had to do, with all of the going and going and going and going that we have been doing, and all the policies and procedures and the laws that we put in place with the system that needs updating, um, that needs to be inclusive, that needs to be a playing field, not for some but for all. I think this is the opportunity that we need right now to look for in this chaos, to really have an inclusive world, because if one man is left behind, we are all left behind. So it is about pulling each other up, pulling ourselves up, and in that process, pulling each other up to our level instead of keep kicking them down and thinking that they're lesser than. Because honestly and truly, when you inflate your ego and put it on a pedestal and then want people to look up to you, you can't go, you're not gonna go anywhere with a ego that you're gonna go to a certain level, but you're gonna also have, for me, I'm realizing that you're gonna also have people that are gonna look at you as egotistical or narcissist. So your actions and your words have to align with yourself and with the world now. So I'm testing out my new microphone, and I'm hoping that you're good. You guys are able to hear me good. So that's all I have for this week on values over vanity. My final word is look for the opportunity in the chaos. In the midst of chaos, there's great opportunity. Look for the light in the darkness because you are the light in the darkness. So thank you so much for listening to Values Over Vanity. This is your girlfriend Sia, aka Franny B. Thank you and goodbye.